Information about Felicity, the daughter of Jinger and Jeremy Vuolo, visiting the emergency room due to excruciating ear pain. Jinger Duggar Vuolo can finally unwind after her daughter's latest health crisis. The actress and her husband Jeremy Vuolo's 7-year-old daughter, Felicity, experienced a stressful period during which she suffered from an unexpected ear issue that occurred during a wedding they threw at their home. At the end of the wedding, Felicity had been on the dance floor, and she was dancing so hard. Jinger, who co-hosts the Jinger and Jeremy podcast with partner Jeremy, stated on the October 29th edition, "When she steps inside, she is in unbearable agony. Given that her oldest child is a social butterfly, the situation was especially concerning for the 31-year-old mother of Jeremy's children, Evangeline, 4, and Finnegan, 7. She implores us to remain alert if there are individuals in the vicinity." Jinger continued. "Is it necessary for me to get into bed?" she inquires. "I love our friends so much that I just want to stay awake even though I know I have to get up early." Because Jinger, who is anti-medicine, gave her daughter Felicity 2 ibuprofens because she knew her daughter was in pain, Jeremy remarked on how serious the issue was. "I was at an event when you told me that you had given her 2 ibuprofen, so I thought, oh, this is serious if Jinger's giving her medicine right away," he said. Jinger returned to the wedding reception to ask if anyone might suggest a doctor when the medication didn't help her symptoms. She said that because her eardrum might have burst, everyone at the wedding had told her to visit the ER. Because of Jeremy, Felicity ended up in the emergency room. While her eyes were bloodshot from crying, she told him she was feeling better and wasn't in active pain by the time they arrived at the hospital. "I take her in, and while we're getting checked into the emergency room, she said, 'Dad, my ear popped and it feels better,'" recalled Jeremy. "But we should still have it examined," she tells me after the investigation. The well-liked star of the TLC reality show 19 Kids and Counting, Jinger Duggar, recently experienced a startling medical crisis with her small daughter. Social media has long been used by the Duggar family to give fans access to glimpses of their private lives, enabling them to interact with their favorite celebrities. Fans, however, were concerned and interested in the specifics of the medical issue following a recent event with Jinger's daughter. Fans were instantly overwhelmed with worry when Jinger said that her daughter had been taken to the emergency room due to excruciating ear discomfort. We'll examine the circumstances, the family's reaction, and Jinger's handling of the emotional roller coaster that accompanied such a traumatic event in greater detail in this post. The initial indications of concern in a family's medical emergency. Married to Jeremy Vuolo, Jinger Duggar has a reputation for being open about her family life. She frequently updates her followers on her accomplishments, both happy and difficult. Even though it may have been unnerving, Jinger didn't think twice about updating her followers on her daughter Felicity Vuolo's unexpected onset of excruciating earache. It all started when Jinger saw her daughter showing symptoms of discomfort, which is something that all parents fear. Felicity, a normally happy and energetic child, started to weep excessively and tug at her ear. Since ear pain in young infants is frequently a sign of an infection or something more serious, Jinger was immediately concerned about this behavior. Jinger, like any worried parent, monitored Felicity's condition closely and attempted to use simple home treatments to ease her discomfort. But Felicity's ear discomfort seemed to get worse as the day wore on, and she started to feel more agitated and hot. Jinger and Jeremy decided to take their daughter to the emergency department right away after realizing it was time to get professional assistance. The visit to the emergency room. Nervous times. The situation's seriousness sank in once they got to the emergency room. Jinger, who had always been the epitome of poise in public, was confronted with a degree of worry and panic that was entirely unfamiliar to her. She knew she had to remain strong for Felicity because the idea of her little girl in anguish was intolerable. Jinger talked about the emotional experience of being in the ER in a statement to her fans. She said that witnessing her daughter's suffering was one of the most trying times in her life. Jinger's strong feeling of duty as a mother was evident, and she was making every effort to provide Felicity the finest treatment possible. Thankfully, the hospital's medical staff was able to quickly evaluate the issue. Following a comprehensive assessment, they concluded that Felicity had an ear infection, which is a frequent condition affecting young children. Although Jinger and Jeremy were relieved to receive the diagnosis, they also realized that ear infections can cause a lot of agony, particularly if they cause fever, extreme discomfort, and other symptoms. In addition to giving Jinger advice on how to take care of Felicity while she healed, the physicians prescribed antibiotics. Even though the diagnosis was somewhat standard, the family suffered a great deal of emotional distress as a result, since she had never experienced a medical emergency of this nature with one of her children. Jinger revealed that it had been an extremely overwhelming experience for her. Admirers respond to the news. When Jinger announced the news on social media, her followers immediately showered the comment section with condolences and words of support. Supporters wished Felicity a quick recovery and voiced their worries. Many admirers who had followed Jinger's story since her debut on 19 Kids and Counting gave the Vuolo family messages of encouragement and guidance based on their own experiences with ear infections in young children. Jinger's candor and genuineness were also commended by certain fans. Jinger's choice to disclose this medical fear to her fans was viewed as a courageous and vulnerable one in a world when many celebrities tend to conceal the more challenging parts of their lives. It increased her fans' interest in her family's welfare and gave them a sense of being a part of her journey. Seeing Jinger be so honest with us is really reassuring. One fan wrote in a comment, "When our children are ill, we all understand how difficult it can be. Prayers and love are being sent in abundance for Felicity's quick recovery." Another admirer commented, "Jinger, I appreciate your candor. I'm hoping Felicity gets well soon. When our babies are in pain, it's always really difficult. But you and Jeremy are taking amazing care of her." Jinger's approach to parenting. An example of grace and strength. One thing emerged during this trying time. Jinger's parenting approach is based on grace and courage. Despite her feelings of anxiety and uncertainty in the emergency room, she managed to remain serene and peaceful, comforting her daughter and managing the situation with love and maturity. Fans have always been impressed by Jinger and Jeremy's relationship. The way they assist one another throughout difficult times demonstrates their unwavering dedication to one another and their family. It was the same with this medical scare. Jinger shared that Jeremy had been a rock for her and Felicity during the trauma, and she thanked her husband for his support. She felt less anxious because of his cool-headedness, and they handled the difficult circumstance together with love and solidarity. Jinger and Jeremy not only provided emotional support to one another, but they also put Felicity's welfare first. They made sure Felicity had all she needed to heal as soon as possible and closely complied with the doctor's recommendations. Their devotion as parents is evident in their meticulousness and concern for their daughter's well-being. Felicity's recuperation and the value of health education. Fortunately, Felicity recovered quickly, and after getting the required care, she started to feel better. To the relief of everyone who had been following the tale, Jinger shared pictures of Felicity playing and smiling again to keep her admirers informed about her daughter's progress. Jinger also took advantage of the occasion to spread the word about how important it is to monitor children's health and seek medical assistance when necessary. She emphasized that it's always better to be safe than sorry and urged other parents to follow their gut feelings when it comes to their kids' health. In one of her posts, Jinger stated, "Occasionally we try to tough it out, thinking it's nothing serious. But it's important to listen to our children and trust our instincts as parents. It's always better to be cautious, so don't be afraid to seek medical assistance when necessary." The bright side. Perspective and thankfulness. Jinger conveyed her profound appreciation for her daughter's recovery as she thought back on the event. For the Vuolos, the fear had served as a wake-up call, reminding them of the fleeting nature of life and the value of savoring each moment spent with their kids. Jinger said, "This experience has given me a new perspective on what really matters. We are so grateful that Felicity is feeling better now because her health and happiness are our top priorities. It serves as a reminder to always be there for our children in their hour of need and to never take anything for granted." Even though it was clearly a stressful scenario, it ended well, and Jinger's family came out of it stronger and closer than before. In summary, a supportive community. Parenting can be unpredictable, as demonstrated by Jinger Duggar's recent experience with her daughter's ER visit. Even though it was clearly a difficult period, it also demonstrated the value of medical attention, family support, and a fan base that genuinely cares for the Duggar family. Fans can find comfort in the knowledge that the Vuolos are a family that values love, faith, and resiliency despite the ups and downs as they continue to follow Jinger's journey. The Vuolos are more resilient than ever, prepared to handle whatever comes next with poise and resolve thanks to Felicity's recovery and the encouragement of their supporters.